name's Dave Aarons. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is the third video I put out. My first video was covering long cuts, or how to make a cut with the grain with a pocket knife. My second video was on a cross cut, or cutting directly across the fibers with the knife. And now my third video here, we're going to keep on going with making cuts with a pocket knife. This time it's going to be an oblique cut, so long cut, cross cut. Now we're going to go something in between there, okay? Something in between with the grain and directly across the grain, so we're cutting at an angle to the fibers now, okay? So right here I have a block of cherry, and all I'll do is just start cutting down at an angle. Helps to push with your thumb. Make sure that all your fingers are out of the path of that blade, okay? So all my fingers back here. And keep on going. So that's cherry. Okay. Back to that maple little sapling that fell down in the yard. So I'm going to do the same thing here. Always cutting away from myself. Alright, so did oblique cuts, and now I have myself a point. Last lesson we did cross cut, and that's where I made the groove on this end, so now I have my tent peg. Okay? So now we can start combining these cuts, okay? So let's say I want to do a cross cut plus an oblique cut. So I'm going to cross like this. Okay, I'm going to take that chip out. Come back here. Chip out. Alright, keep on going, keep on going, keep on going, end up with a notch. So a notch like this. So there's two variations on making a tent peg. Probably every Boy Scout in America has made these at some point. Alright, so just working with a knife. So my tool for this week is going to be a leather strop, okay? What we do is, this piece of leather I cut off is about just slightly over 8 inches long, right around 2 inches wide, okay? A good size for a knife. And then what we're also going to get is some of this blade honing compound. This best way to explain what blade honing compound is, or sometimes called the green stuff or green honing compound, is that it is a fine abrasive suspended in wax, and then they make that into a bar. And I got this one on Amazon. It was cheap. This is a lifetime supply. I'll be passing this down to my sons, and they'll be passing down to their sons. So yeah, so what we do is we have on leather, you have a smooth side and a rough side. I recommend on the rough side, that's where you put your honing compound. I already put it on here, just because it seems to be easier to put on the rough side, okay? So all you're going to do is just draw over your leather with a big block of honing compound here. Okay, get that so it's, pretty well covered, okay? Now I'm going to set this over to the edge of my bench. And now what I want to do is I want to go start honing my knife. You always go with the edge trailing, okay? So the edge is always trailing. You never want to go this way where the edge is leading. So always the edge trailing. That way you don't cut into your leather. Alright? We're going to hold this at a slight angle, feeling for that bevel. Okay? We're going to drag it across. And we're going to drag it across this way. As you do this, you will start to see your leather turn black. Okay, that's actually metal being pulled off by that abrasive. Okay. Okay, so I usually do this in my typical routine is to go 10 strokes this way, 10 strokes this way, 9 strokes this way, 9 strokes this way, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 2, 1, and then 1 I'll do like a half dozen times. So I go 1, 1, 1. What's going on is sharpness is when you have two sides of the tool, in this case the blade, okay, two sides of the blade, and those two planes intersect precisely, okay, and they come to a point, okay, and so as you use the tool, and the sharpness will go away. What's going to happen is that edge will start rounding over, rounding over, rounding over. Now we're not sharp anymore because those two planes are not coming directly to a point. Okay. So when we're honing, what we're doing is if we're honing on this side, we're taking that edge and we're taking metal and we're forming a wire edge up top here. Okay, so we're taking to that side. Then we go and we hone the other side. We move it back there. Okay? And we keep on honing. And we're going back and forth like that until eventually, this is why you want to keep even strokes, until eventually that wire edge that's being formed by that metal that you're pulling off on the blade, it's finally going to just break off. Okay, and then what you're left with is the two planes of that edge coming directly together, no rounding over. Okay, and that's what we mean by sharp. And so, how sharp can a knife get? Well, with honing this particular optional, the one that I showed in my first video, this has not seen a stone in quite some time. I haven't put it on either my diamond stones or my whetstone that I have, and but usually if I can keep up with just honing it, then I can keep an edge going for a long time, and that's where the strop really comes into play. Okay, especially this green honing compound. So my rule is after about every 15 minutes of continuous use, that's when I want to stop and hone my knife. Also, before I started this video, I went ahead and I honed this knife real quick before we started. Okay, and you saw me just hone it again after I was done cutting on the wood. So how sharp can these knives get? Well, everybody does the paper trick. I mean, that works for me. A lot of guys will do this, and I'm guilty of this too. You can see it right here. Is they will test their knives on their arms. Don't do that. It's unsafe. I need to knock it off myself. Okay. Probably the best indicator of how sharp your knife is to take, that southern yellow pine that I told you was so tough to cut. If you take this stuff and you can pull and get a polished surface on ingrain, that's really, especially a softwood like this, that's really when you know your knife is sharp. You can do the paper trick, you can do, don't do the armor thing, it's just unsafe. But what we're trying to use is on wood, so why not try your sharpness out on wood? And the best thing is to grab a piece of softwood. It's got that a lot of resin in it, and just see if you can take shavings. Yep, so I'm pretty happy with that. So okay. Hey, thanks for watching. Appreciate the support I've been getting so far. Yeah, please like and subscribe. Some videos I got coming up. We'll do one more with the knife, and then I'm going to introduce another tool. We're going to go ahead and talk about the handsaw a little bit. And yeah, so appreciate it. Thank you.